Hey guys, TikTok Sully here, or just Sully, and today I wanted to bring you guys a video taking a look at everything Pharrell Williams has done in fashion. Now Pharrell has been an important figure when it comes to this relationship between fashion and music. So not only has he been an asset to fashion from a marketing perspective, but his talent seems to reach far beyond just making music, and he seems to be just as good at designing as he is at producing music, making him the original Renaissance man of this generation. So today I'm going to take a look at everything he's done in the fashion world and break down why Pharrell's known for his fashions just as much as he's known for his music, aside from the fact that he's a great dresser. Kicking it off, one of the earliest things Pharrell did in fashion was founding his Billionaire Boys Club and ice cream clothing lines back in the early 2000s. This was a business venture he took on with his partner Nigo, and after being influenced by Japanese streetwear for some time, I guess he managed to find the brand identity he wanted to associate himself with. To this day, Billionaire Boys Club is still a leading streetwear brand, and since its inception, it's had ties to Pharrell, not only because he's the owner, but because he's also played the role of being the face of the brand. A few years down the line, Pharrell actually parted ways with BBC, but reports came out in 2016 that he had invested back into Billionaire Boys Club with hopes to keep its legacy on the right path. Moving on to one of the earliest collaborations of Pharrell's is the NERD Nike collaboration from 2004, in which the two brands produced an SB Dunk High silhouette. This was one of the first of its kind, in which a musician had partnered with the sportswear brand and really set the narrative for the future of sneaker culture. This was a collaboration with NERD, of course, and not solely Pharrell, but because it was such a significant moment in sneaker history, I thought it was worth mentioning in this list. The sneaker still holds its coveted value, as even 15 years later, it's still selling for upwards of $1,000 and is one of those sneakers that collectors are constantly on the hunt for. Next, we had Pharrell's efforts on the Louis Vuitton Millionaire sunglasses, which dropped in 2005. This was an eyewear silhouette that Pharrell had a chance at designing after Louis Vuitton's creative director at the time, Marc Jacobs, noticed Pharrell's peculiar interest in eyewear. Pharrell again partnered with Nigo to come up with this design, in which they produced an eyewear shape that was one part Tony Montana and one part Notorious B.I.G. And the Millionaires have since gone on to become one of Louis Vuitton's most successful accessories for men. Pharrell also starred in an ad campaign for Louis Vuitton, which we'll come to see wasn't the only time he's been the face of a luxury house. In 2006, Pharrell officially collaborated with Nigo by jumping directly into his world and collaborating with his brand, A Bathing Ape. This collaboration saw the artist produce 3 metallic colorways of the brand's Roadster silhouette, and Pharrell collaborated with Bape again on their 20th anniversary collection, this time by producing a t-shirt print for the brand. In 2008, because the Louis Vuitton Millionaires collaboration had gone so well, Marc Jacobs called for Pharrell's help once again, this time by getting him to concentrate on something else he was experienced in, being jewelry.
I have so much jewelry. I got more jewelry, and it's not even about the jewelry.
This introduced the world to the Louis Vuitton Blazon collection, in which fine jewelry was made using white and yellow gold along with precious stones, and according to reports at the time, the prices for this collection ranged anywhere from $2,000 for a yellow gold ring to $600,000 for a white gold and diamond necklace. Definitely one of the more modest collaborations from Pharrell in terms of its appreciation and awareness, but the opposite when it comes to the price tag, considering this was one of the most expensive collaborations that's come from Pharrell. Moving on from there, Pharrell was approached by Montclair in the following year of 2009 to help create some outerwear pieces for the brand. This opportunity came about after Pharrell was introduced to the Bionic Yarn Company and learned about how they were trying to help clean up the world by recycling ocean plastics into usable fabrics, prompting him to wanting to become a part of the company. With Bionic agreeing to partner with him, it set Pharrell up to collaborate on garments now, as he has something practical to offer the industry, and this kicked off with Montclair. For their first partnership, Pharrell used the Bionic Yarn technology to produce both puffer jackets and vests, which were highlighted with a print by Japanese artist Keita Sugura, and these released in 2010. 3 years later, in 2013, the two revisited this collaboration as Pharrell had a chance to follow up on the original designs. This time, he worked on the same garment types but applied new colours to them in order to strengthen the original message of the collaboration, and for this re-edition, Montclair also allowed him to work on their eyewear line, bringing something new to the partnership. Pharrell ended up reimagining classic eyewear shapes along with one oversized frame to add a little bit of avant-garde into the mix, and all the eyewear was made with one single piece of titanium to give them a functional yet luxurious sentiment. The following year, in 2014, Pharrell was approached by Uniqlo to collaborate on their Uniqlo UT line. This was a partnership with Pharrell's creative company I Am Other, and it produced pieces of clothing that had printed motifs of the aforementioned brand. 2014 was a big year for Pharrell because in this same year his partnership with Adidas kicked off, and this started with the Stan Smith hand painted collection. This was a project in which Pharrell produced 10 hand painted designs and applied them to Adidas's classic Stan Smith silhouette. The final product was positive imagery and messaging covering the white low top, and all 10 variations dropped exclusively at the Colette retailer in Paris. After this first project went so well, Adidas allowed Pharrell to continue working on the Stan Smiths, unveiling the Solid Pack collection, which saw the low top covered in 3 distinct colours and was also accompanied by matching leather jackets. After the Stan Smiths had been successfully customized enough, Adidas trusted Pharrell with another one of their classic footwear shapes, this time being the Superstars. This created the Superstar Supercolor collection, in which Pharrell covered the Superstar sneaker in 50 different colorways in order to illustrate a message of equality, making this the most diverse project he's worked on to date. The Adidas collaboration is an ongoing partnership, and items are going to continue releasing even after this video, so I won't be able to cover them all, but some highlights include the Stan Smith jacket pack, the Superstar Super Shells which had a painted toe, the NMD Hue collection which dropped in 2016 and was actually a very hyped collaboration, the Adidas Tennis US Open collection which expressed Pharrell's take on activewear, and finally the Holi collection, which was a celebration of the Hindu Holi festival by capturing the different colours you would experience if you ever did attend the festival. Moving on from Adidas now, another company that's trusted Pharrell similarly to Adidas is G-Star, as they've collaborated with Pharrell on multiple occasions as well. The first one kicked off back in 2014 with the Raw for the Oceans campaign, which was created in order to bring attention to sustainable fashion. Of course, Pharrell's bionic yarn was also implemented into this project, but this time around there was also some graphic prints produced to help further get the message across. This campaign was revisited again and again for more collections, making it a successful collaboration, so much so that this later led to Pharrell actually becoming a part owner of the G-Star brand. So this is another ongoing project of Pharrell's where he's still continuing to produce pieces for the brand, such as the G-Star suit collection back in 2018. Going back to 2014 now, Pharrell collaborated with Comme des Garçons to produce a unisex fragrance for the brand. This was Pharrell's first attempt at fragrance and was entitled Girl, which encompassed a woody scent, and the bottle for the fragrance was designed by Pharrell's friend and fellow artist Cause. This wasn't the only unique thing Pharrell did in 2014, as in that same year he also collaborated with French luxury company Moynat to produce some train inspired leather goods. This was a collaboration that came about after Pharrell and Moynat's creative director Ramesh Nair found himself bonding over their obsession of trains, leading to this collection for the luxury label and making it Pharrell's first attempt at leather goods, and I must say it definitely resulted in a great final product. In 2017, NERD collaborated with Ambush on a knit sweater design exclusively for ComplexCon, and even though this wasn't a collaboration directly with Pharrell, it was spearheaded by him and was a nice and unique design, so I thought it'd be worth mentioning. In 2019, Pharrell collaborated with Nigo's latest fashion endeavour, Human Made, by dropping a sake line for the brand for their Kyoto store opening. And in case you didn't know, sake is a popular alcoholic beverage in Japan, which makes sense as to why this unconventional collaboration materialized in that part of the world. Pharrell also brought Adidas into his partnership with Human Made because he also dropped some Human Made branded Adidas runners at the end of 2019, so I'm sure he'll continue working with Human Made, seeing as he's a close friend and supporter of the brand. But moving on to another close-knit relationship Pharrell has with the brand, we can take a look at his relationship with the luxury house Chanel. This relationship kicked off back in 2014 when Pharrell was asked by Karl Lagerfeld to star in a short film for the brand. It starred both Pharrell Williams and model Cara Delevingne and was directed by the late Lagerfeld. After this, their relationship grew even closer and Pharrell was given another opportunity to work with the brand, this time by starring as the first man to appear in a handbag commercial for the brand. This then finally led to a tangible opportunity for Pharrell, in which he brought his partnership with Adidas to the table once again to produce the Chanel NMDs, which were a very hyped release and actually hit the aftermarket before they could even hit retailers due to their limited run of only 500 pairs. To this day, they're still going for upwards of $10,000, so it was a great start to show that Pharrell's name could be of value to the luxury house. Of course, Chanel took note, and this then led to yet another opportunity, because in that following year of 2018, the two announced that they'd be collaborating on a capsule collection for the brand, making this one of the most memorable moments in Pharrell's fashion career. The collection debuted in 2019 when Chanel were opening a new flagship store in Korea, and then it soon made it to Western flagship soon after. The collaboration featured quite a few pieces such as footwear, clothing, bags, and even eyewear, making this an elegant execution for both an elegant brand and an elegant man. Of course, everything did sell out with everything hitting the aftermarket, and of course Chanel were not done with him just yet, as in 2020 he was brought back around to star as a model in a new eyewear campaign. So again, this is another ongoing relationship, and I'm sure we'll see more coming from the two as time goes on. And the final noteworthy project of Pharrell's to round this list off is one of his best pieces of work in my opinion, and that is his collaboration with Richard Mille. Now this was definitely a great way to end this list, seeing as this was one of his most impressive collaborations and one that was also executed really well. The two collaborated on an RM52 model which featured the brand's uniquely shaped titanium casing but with the spaceman concept built in by Pharrell, which was complemented with a crown that mimics the Mars rover wheel and an orange band to balance the colours. Retailing at just under $1 million, this makes for one of Pharrell's most expensive products, and the watch was also only limited to 30 pieces, so you can imagine the aftermarket prices are going to be even higher than that. Pharrell's played with this idea of space since his inception as an artist, and we can see that with one of his earlier brands being Star Trek. So taking that same inspiration and applying it to Richard Mille allows us to take a deeper dive into the mind of Pharrell Williams and shows us how even though he's grown as an artist, his interests and tastes have stayed the same, they're simply working at a higher level. Which brings me to the end of this video and pretty much sums up Pharrell's efforts in fashion. Pharrell has managed to do quite a bit in fashion, which was really unheard of until he managed to do it, and this really opened the doors for other artists to follow. Artists such as A$AP Rocky and Kanye West have both attributed their success to Pharrell's efforts preceding them, which makes him an important figure in culture because he's really your favorite artist's favorite artist. So for that reason, I thought it was important to highlight these moments in order to further help explain that statement. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button as it always helps, and I'll be making more videos similar to this, so if you are interested, make sure you also hit that subscribe button so you can check in for the next one. You can also follow me on my Instagram, which is TikTok Sully, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that down below in the description. But that's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.